I'd like to now move over to Jace. And Jace, as someone that's out there as a human-centered design practitioner out there having these conversations all the time and being, really central to the sorts of transformations efforts that you're seeing. What are some of the things that you're experiencing in your projects? And you're doing some major projects for major organizations and what are some of the techniques and frameworks that you're applying to kind of address some of this when it gets to the coalface and we're out there producing learning and trying to actually account for some of these challenges?
Thanks for asking the question, Simon. I'm going to take a leaf out of Ivan's book and I'm going to get everyone to stand up. So everyone with me, we're all on camera. I'd love everybody to stand up, please, because this is the way we get oxygen through our bodies instead of keeping it in our butts.
Hold on, Jason, you'll see my underpants.
I call that the weatherman technique, Ivan. So shirt from here, board shorts or undies from down here. So can everybody lift your arms above your head, stand up nice and straight and reach up as tall as you possibly can. Oh, that feels good. So what you've done is now just pushed a whole stack of oxygen out of where it's been gathering underneath you for the last 40 minutes. That's just one of the things as a learning practitioner and a facilitator, particularly in this kind of an environment where you've got the attention of people on Zoom, but their bodies are checking out. They're saying, hey, I got to get out of here. I got a comfort stop. I got to get air. Is the window open? Man, I'm just so zoomed in, pardon the pun for our technology provider, but so zoomed in that I can't think anymore. And that's exactly what happens. If you don't oxygenate this thing, how can you remain focused? And as learning practitioners, how can we expect you, the audience, to be able to concentrate and get through this 2.5 hour awesome e-learning module that we've just created for you? So there's a bunch of that stuff that's so super important. And I've been called lots of things, Simon, in my time over the last 5 years, having worked in this environment, in this remote and hybrid kind of way, almost like down to Swami, guru, yogi, because this is the stuff execs don't think about. They get in, the digital overwhelm is there, ever present. Ingest that information, get on with it. We've got all these means of communicating in different channels. Why can't we just get stuff done? So the reason that we can't get stuff done, and to the benefit of being, to Amanda's point about being together in a space, it actually forces you up and physically moving towards where other people are. And that is a massive benefit to your ability to be able to cognitively take in what's expected of you in a working environment. So what I try to do is build in a lot of those kind of exercises where you're stretching the bits that don't get stretched, right? So physically, mentally, your sight is absolutely vital in terms of being able to be connected to each other in this environment and to do the work digitally. How many people here, let's have a hand count, how many people here who wear glasses and who aren't, but just have a look at everyone on this call, how many of us are actually wearing glasses, right? So the focus of one of the biggest muscles that get stretched the most in the digital environment is your eyesight. So you've got to look after that. So every 20 minutes, I'll get participants to look away, look out the window and look away into the distance, because that's great for your ocular structure. Being able to flex that ocular muscle also oxygenates your brain because you're using that effectively. Otherwise, you're too zeroed in. And guess what? HCF is going to ring you to say, hey, it's that time. You've got to come back and get your checkup. So a lot of really simple physical things can help your cognitive ability to be able to focus and then plan well. So I put that in the plan list and people say, hey, you're nuts. Why are we having so many breaks and so many different things? because it's so important for our bodies to function properly. Now that's the physical bit. The aspects of the conditional pressures that organizations have to enable their workforce, enable individuals, and collect them together to be successful in the pursuit of whatever it is the business is trying to get to, is a massive overload in this space where we can publish to anybody, anywhere, at any time. For those of you who have built a website or have started a blog, or who even use platforms, the social media platforms like LinkedIn and Facebook and Insta, we have all become digital publishers. It's no longer a term of digital transformation. It's digital next. We are all using this material. We are all using the platforms. We are all soaking stuff up because we have that power to communicate through multiple channels. And I blame Gutenberg. It really started with him, right? The guy that invented the printing press, man, he's the guy that got that stuff rolling. He's the guy that actually put us in play for a couple of centuries to be able to go send or comment or publish my website. And now we have digital overwhelm because we can't get enough of these channels to be able to broadcast. So another thing that I like doing inside any learning component or any learning structure is to allow for some silence. So we're going to have that. We're going to have 30 seconds of silence. And I'd like everybody just to close your eyes for those 30 seconds. Simon's going, no, don't do it. We've got to fill the space. But I want to see where your brains go in the next 30 seconds. So I'm going to put a counter on. Ready? Go. Okay. Now there were 5 of us who I'd call voyeurs, digital voyeurs, people who couldn't close their eyes. They could not look at the screens through whatever it was about letting that go, or the trust that you had in me, or whatever this was for, the purpose. But there are 5 of us that could not look at the screen with everyone else with their eyes closed. So that's where my head went. Where did your heads go? Let's have it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Where did your heads go for that 30 seconds of silence? The bird song out of my window. It's amazing. You can hear that through my headphones. It is. Art, painting, sleep debt. Oh, Donna. so know that. Fresh air. Yeah, fantastic. Those little tips, and one of the most important principles that I try and follow is that all learning should be activity-led. All learning should be, at some point, a little bit engaging to allow your audience, however remote or however close, the ability to be able to do something. If they can't do something, how do you know, or how can you observe that learning's actually taken place? So in terms of this organizational structure and this pressure that companies are under for performance and the ability to measure effectiveness, we're all vacuumed in a way where we try and escape some of these patterns. And some of these techniques are a way of escaping those narrow patterns of focus. We need to, and Donna has chock-a-block amounts of references and techniques in terms of productivity. So I'm not going to talk about productivity here in this little bit as I wrap up, but it's more around how do you frame that when you're planning for that work? You have to take stock and build that into your plans, because if you don't, it gets forgotten. And then all of a sudden you've spent 3 hours sitting in front of a computer screen and you wonder why you're tired. Okay. So I think top of mind are those health well-being tips. And there are a bunch of them. If you search digital overwhelm and think top 10 tips, they're everywhere, right? The mental well-being of people in this space since the pandemic, which has caused almost an exponential growth. And there's some research which I'll share with the group later in terms of the uptake of digital for effectiveness because of the pandemic. So a global response has been a safety net or a safety solution for us to be able to continue to communicate. And that has increased people's capacity to need or feel the need that they've got to communicate and connect in this way, in this digital way. So my last tip before I kind of finish up and throw to the floor is I would recommend trying removing yourself from the digital space and just connect with someone. It's okay to switch off. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say, do you know what? That email can wait. Or as most people are saying, 1 in 3 emails now from a study from Spain, 1 in 3 emails is irrelevant, right? So 30% of your workload during the day via that god-awful channel, say no to email. I have personally tried to do that over this year and use other channels. So Nir Eyal talks about hacking. So Ivan, back to the very earliest comment in this session, a digital hack is about reordering your life. And of course, as I said, Donna has a stack load of those insights and references. So let's all give ourselves a bit of a hack. Give ourselves a people hack. Find out what you need. And if you can explore the very simple mechanic of empathizing with someone else, which is the baseline of design thinking, understand others' needs before you plan any learning or before you execute any learning, then you're well on the way to be able to helping other people move forward. Thanks, team. I'm going to throw it back to the floor. Simon.